But today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'll ever stop it.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she likes to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Unscripted here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. I'm your host, producer, Logan Landers, and join me, as always, to talk some college football, and not just any kind of college football, the final game of the college football season between Washington and Michigan. Jay McLovin, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. You know why? Because I don't know if we get to call it college football, but, bro, this is the week of our championship belt being decided who gets it.
That is a good point, and I will be shining that thing up and sending it to someone because, unfortunately, I did not win, which is a little sad, but I will. We will give out more details, of course, on that after that week is over. But yeah, sad, a little bit sad though, Jay. I don't just get to keep it. Hang over the fireplace, but it is what it is. And also joining in on the fun this afternoon, our birthday boy, Dustin Reese. What's up, Dustin?
All aboard the Michael Penix train.
Well, we're going to be talking about Michael Penix, that is for sure. And guys, let's go and get right into it. We'll start off with Jay. Final game of the college football season, Jay McLovin. Who's going to win a championship?
Yeah, well, I guess to kind of caveat or continue with what Dustin was talking about, the Michael Penix train, looks like running back Johnson is expected to play, which is huge. Because I think if Johnson doesn't play, then that puts an incredible amount of pressure onto Washington in terms of their wide receivers and what Penix can do, because now you start to become even more one-dimensional, right? Now they know that you don't have really a true running game, and they can cover heavy on those wide receivers so they don't get blown out like they did with Texas. So that's a huge thing that Johnson is playing, in my opinion. Again, you get 1 versus 2. We don't see that too often, but you got 1 versus 2. You got Penix versus McCarthy. You got the storyline of Johnson versus Corum, the storyline of Michigan's cornerbacks versus Washington's wide receiver. There's a lot of stories here. You got the edge rushers versus the O-line of Washington. And then the one key thing is Odunze. Can he be shut down? That is key. That is absolutely key for Michigan. Is number one, can their edge rushers get pressure on Penix to force him into bad throws? And number two, can they keep up and not get burnt by Odunze, as we saw in the Texas shootout? The guy is good. He's got over 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns. I think for Michigan and Corum and that storyline, Corum has to really be effective. They got to get him going up and quick and early so that way they can control that damn clock. Because as you saw in the Texas game, Washington controlled the entire third quarter, all but like 2 minutes worth. And then you saw Texas come back in the fourth quarter, and they dominated the fourth quarter and only gave up a small segment to Washington, and that's what allowed them to get back into the game. So if Michigan wants a chance at winning this game, They have the right chemistry to do it. They have the right running back to do clock management. They got the right defense to slow down Washington. But all aspects have to come into fruition. Harbaugh, everything that they've gone through over there in Michigan, the amount of momentum, the amount of hype that is, going on behind him right now, that is, and me, is huge. Ball placement and speed of the wide receivers and that O-line buying time for Penix, again, for Washington, that is their big key. But truthfully, what Washington really has to do, which they haven't done a whole great job of, is defense. Straight defense, man. They got away a little bit of it with Texas, but I don't think they're going to have that same luck going against Michigan. So, again, there's a lot riding on this. I think Johnson keeping the defense honest is going to be the biggest key. So, can Johnson stay healthy enough to get through this game? That's going to be a huge factor. But there's a lot of storylines, Logan. There's a lot of storyline, stat guy, that are going to be in this game throughout the entire way. And it's going to be whose storyline prevails at each one of those different steps as to who's going to win this game.
Well said, Jay. All right, Dustin, who's going to win this one, the Huskies or the Wolverines?
Well, before I get into the breakdown, I would like to take some credit for getting a lot of the panel on our network to actually see how good Michael Penix really was. Mainly because I kind of knew about him when he was at Indiana before a lot of people saw what he was this year. And granted, he wasn't what he was at Indiana as he is now, but he was still a very talented quarterback at Indiana. I think now he's finally proving to the world how talented he can be. Like Jay said, there's a lot of storylines in this game. And ultimately, the biggest storyline that it's going to ultimately decide this game is that Michigan front seven versus the Washington offensive line. You look at what that Michigan front seven did against Alabama. I don't think anybody in their right mind thought Michigan would dominate Alabama's offensive line as much as they did. And then you kind of look at it just as a whole throughout the entire duration of the season. Michigan led the country in sacks with 57 sacks this year. So Michigan has no problems getting to the quarterback. They average over 4 sacks a game at this point getting to the quarterback. So getting to the quarterback has been one of their strengths this year. Then on the flip side, you go over to Washington. They have the best offensive line in the country. Michael Penix has been sacked 10 times all season, and 4 of them came in one game against Oregon. So you take that game out, he's been sacked only 6 times his other 13 games. Going back to last season, he's been sacked 22 times in his last 26 games. There's a reason why he puts up the numbers he puts up, and it's not just because he has great poise and he has great pocket presence, and he does get rid of the ball unbelievably quickly. And Jay, you saw how quick he got rid of the ball on Monday against Texas, how it's pretty much he gets the ball, he takes one step, and it's already out of his hand. But the offensive line has done a phenomenal job protecting him. And that's what it's going to take to beat Michigan. If Michigan can get pressure on him, I'm not saying sack him 6 or 7 times, but if they can consistently get to him and maybe rattle his cage, which is something that nobody's really been able to do this year, it's going to be a long night for Washington because Michigan's run defense is going to basically nullify Dylan Johnson, and it's pretty much going to be one-on-one with Odunze in that Michigan secondary all game long. But if Michigan cannot get to Michael Penix, I don't care how good your defense is, there is no way that you can play one-on-one with Odunze and one-on-one with Jalen McMillan and one-on-one with these receivers and expect Michael Penix to not beat you. And Texas found that out the hard way, especially late in the first half into the second half when they stopped blitzing him because they realized they couldn't get to him. And then they just tried to play straight up, and that's when Washington just kind of took off. And for as good as Michigan's defense is, they are ranked 89th in the country against the pass. That does not bode well when you have a guy like Michael Penix coming in who is the top passer in the country, not touchdown-wise, but yardage-wise, completion percentage-wise, and virtually every other passing category. And the one stat that nobody talks about that I'm going to let everybody know now, when you look at elite quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and like all these other elite quarterbacks in the NFL, a great completion percentage for them when it comes to passes that travel 30 yards or more through the air is between 38 and 40%. Does anybody know what Michael Penix is at for that same kind of completion percentage?
I don't know. You tell me.
58% of his passes that travel more than 30 yards he completes.
That is impressive.
That is absurd at the college level, let alone the NFL level. The other storyline is, and then I'll give my prediction, the other storyline is basically going to be Jim Harbaugh, and if this is his final game in Michigan, his final game as a college head coach, this and that. I realistically think it is, just because you look at the contract that he has sitting on his desk right now and the fact that he hasn't signed it leads me to believe that he's already informed Michigan that he's leaving after this game, and I think Michigan realizes that he is leaving and they're okay with it. All signs point to Michigan winning this game because of the defense and because of Washington not having a defense and not being able to stop the run. But Michael Penix is special. I'm not going to bet against Michael Penix at this point. Every time I want to, he proves me wrong and makes me look like an idiot because of it. I'm going to ride with Michael Penix one more time, and I'm going to go Washington 30-28.
Close game, and that's how I want it to be. Yeah, you guys brought up good points. You know, the tremendous offense out there in Washington. Michigan just being a really good, well-balanced team on honestly both sides of the ball. And you got, you know, it's going to be a battle. And a lot of people didn't think that Washington would beat Texas. And they got it done. And for Michigan, they've kind of been expected to be here for a few years now. Ever really since Harbaugh took over. God, it's almost been 10 years now. Time flies by really quick. But, I mean, you guys brought up good points with, is Harbaugh leaving? It kind of is leaning that way. We're still not sure yet, obviously. And then for Washington, they're trying to pull off a major upset. They're trying to, this was the last year of the Pac-12. They won their championship. And they're trying to, give one more win for the Pac-12 before they, officially dissolve and whatnot, before they move on to another conference. And, you look at the talent, you mentioned Romo Dunze, Michael Penix Jr., of course, two offensive star power guys over there in Washington and on Michigan. Of course, you look at J.J. McCarthy, Roman Wilson, and, of course, Blake Corum, who's just a touchdown machine. It's going to be a really good game, but I think you guys have said it best. It's won in the trenches, and that's how a lot of big games are won. It's who's up front, who's guarding your quarterback, and who's trying to get to the quarterback. And it's going to be a fun matchup. It's really just going to be, I think, a battle of stamina, who's got the most will within to fight and to just get down and dirty in the fourth quarter when it matters most. And I got to be in close, but I will have to go with the Michigan Wolverines in a close ball game. I'll go final score. I want to be close, like you guys have said. Final score for me, I'll go 31-27 in favor of Michigan, taking home the national championship. Well, guys,
hey, this is also what we can now call the Big Ten championship.
It is. It really is. Because
as of Monday, over. Yep, because as of Monday, Washington is officially part of the Big Ten, even though they don't start till August, but they're officially part of the Big Ten conference now.
And we might see this matchup for many years to come.
I just think it's crazy that there's no SEC teams in this. It's been so long. Everything like SEC's been in this thing for so long. This is great to see different conferences.
Is this the first time that there's not been an SEC team featured?
No.
What was the other one? If you can remember.
Well, when Texas played USC, that was.
I'm talking about college football playoffs.
Wasn't it Clemson versus Florida State?
You're right. 2 ACC. That was like one of the first years they got it too.
I think that was the first or second year of the college football playoff because Florida State beat Alabama and Clemson beat.
I forget who.
I think Clemson beat USC.
Okay.
I didn't get my prediction, but I do think Michigan. I think Michigan takes this game, but I think it's going to be a hell of a game, though.
I'm looking forward to it, man. And like you said, I just don't like the fact it's on a Monday. You couldn't do this on a Saturday or even a Sunday.
I agree.
On a Monday, I got work in the morning.
Blame the NFL for that because the NFL had to put 2 freaking games on Saturday, and then obviously they have. So in order to not compete with the NFL, Monday was the only opening.
It's just a shame, man. Why is it got to be? It's got to be on a Monday. Come on. I mean, don't get me wrong. The viewership's still going to be good. Probably not as good since it's not an SEC team. We know how that goes, but
it'll be good.
I know it'll be good, but
I don't care. Logan's still watching it. He knows he's going to
hey,
watch it.
Jay, I'll be sure to have some coffee or some Monster Energy drinks or something to get me through work on Tuesday, because that alarm is going to hit me like a Mack truck.
It always does.
It'll all be worth it though, because we will be watching the final football game of the 2023 season. As always, Jay McClellan, Dustin Reese, always a pleasure talking sports with y'all. I've been your host, producer, Logan Landers. Guys, if you want to check us out on our social media platforms, you can see here, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, and on Twitch. We stream each and every single week, and we are now on LinkedIn. Check us out over there if you want to connect with us on a professional level, and if you want some opportunities to maybe come and help out on the network, we are available over there as well. Go give the page a follow and shoot us a message, and we'll get back to you in a timely manner. Well, guys, I've enjoyed it as always. Until then, we'll talk to y'all on another live episode. We'll see you soon.